For the past 4 years, I've set the same New Year's resolution: to read more books. In 2018, I epically failed when it came to this. According to Goodreads, I only read 2 books for the entire year, so that is not great. In 2019, I did a little bit better. It says that I read 14 books in 2019. And then last year, I started to get really serious about it and make some big changes, and I ended up reading 73 books in 2020, which was awesome. And then this year, I set a really ambitious goal to hit 200 books this year. And it's late April, so we're about a third of the way through the year, and I'm at 60 books for the year, so I'm right where I need to be to hit my goal. How did I go from reading 2 books a year to reading 200 books a year? Well, it wasn't by accident. I made a lot of big changes, and I had to shift around the priorities in my life to make sure that I could do it. I changed my environment. I made sure that I was able to get to the library and download books from the library apps onto my phone and on my Kindle. I swapped out where the apps are on my phone, so where I used to just automatically go check Facebook, now I have my reading app there, and instead of my podcast app, I have an audiobook app, and I track everything that I do and share it out publicly. So if you look at my Insta stories, you can get an idea of all of my favorite books that I've read this year, and that starts conversations about it in my Instagram DMs that get me really excited about other things that people are recommending to me. It helps build that community conversation about what's interesting to me. I've also been writing so much more than ever before this year, in part because I'm taking those same principles around setting my environment up for success, creating and tracking really achievable goals, making consistent habits and rituals around my content creation. And I want to share with you in this video 10 tips that you can use to turn your content marketing goals from pie in the sky New Year's resolutions into things that you're doing every day, every week, every month in order to really start seeing results. So stick with me and I'll share right after this. Hi, my name is Meg Casebolt, and I'm the founder of Love at First Search, where we help online entrepreneurs create content that shows up in search results and then turns those new visitors into leads, subscribers, and sales. When I say I help entrepreneurs create content, that doesn't mean I help them come up with content plans. I also help my clients and my students to understand what it takes to actually take our ideas and take our keyword research and take all the things that we want to write and actually turn it into something that lives on your website. So many people come to me when they're ready to get started with their SEO and they say, I feel like I should be writing, but I just don't have the time. Or, I know that it would be really important if I could get this done, but I see a blank cursor show up on the screen, or I can't carve out the time to do it. And so today I'm going to share with you 10 tips that you can use to make yourself not just more likely to create content, but more excited about it, to feel really good about what you're putting out into the world. Tip number 1, set a super clear goal. You've heard that your goals need to be SMART, which is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time sensitive. So when it comes to creating content, what is it that you are actually going to produce, and in what time frame will you do that? So specific, I will write blog posts. Measurable, they will be 500 words each, and I will publish them. Achievable, I will write 1 blog post every month. Relevant, they will be about this topic. And time sensitive, I will do it for 1 quarter. I will write 1 blog post a month every month for 1 quarter. That's 500 words long. Boom, there's your SMART goal. If you just say, I'm gonna write blog posts, it doesn't always translate into something that you really can achieve. So being specific about what it is that you want to get done, something that you can say at the end of a certain time period, I achieved that. That will make a huge difference in you feeling good about your content marketing goals. Number 2, make a public declaration of what it is that you want to do. I could have just silently read all of my books without coming out and saying, I'm going to read 200 books this year. But because I just did that, I feel like if I don't get to my 200 books, then I'm going to be disappointing not only myself, but you. Not that I think any of you are going to call me out next January if I'm like, oh, I only made it to 190. But I can't back away from that goal now. I can't say, oh no, secretly my goal was just 150. By setting that public declaration, you know that other people know what it is that you are intending to do, and you'll feel a certain obligation to complete it that you wouldn't do if it was just something that you could kind of write off and pretend didn't happen. Tip number 3, hire somebody to help you who gets paid whether or not you actually get your work done. This one has been super important to another goal that I had this year, which is to release 1 YouTube video and 1 blog post every week. I have an awesome video editor. Hi, Sam. I know that Sam is waiting for my videos. I know that she has time dedicated every week to work on my video editing, and so I have to get it to her a bit in advance. I have to plan ahead and record for her. Maybe if you're not doing videos, you don't have your own Sam that you can turn to and kind of hold your feet to the fire in that deadline driven way, but maybe you want to hire an assistant who can just help you get your blog posts onto your website, or you want to hire somebody who can help you with the graphics and you have to get them the title of the post before it can go live. Find someone that can support you in this way and will kind of give you a gentle little nudge if you're falling behind. Number 4, block off a specific time to complete your work and hold it sacred. For a long time, I would say, I'm going to do my content on Mondays. And then as soon as something came up, I would just push it aside because it was only an obligation to myself instead of a sacred block on my calendar. Now I know that when I set a time to do my YouTube video recordings, I take it really seriously. I plan my whole day around my YouTube recordings because I don't always look this good, guys. I don't know if you know that. I don't show up with my hair and makeup done. So I make a plan for when I'm going to be recording and I show up and I'm ready to go. Number 5, very similar to that, batch whenever possible. So today I'm planning to record 3 YouTube videos because my hair and makeup are done. They're ready to go. But if you are a blog post writer, take a day and just write all your blog posts. Or if you're recording podcasts, try to get all of your guests to go back to back to back. And that way you can just make it your podcast day or podcast morning. And that way you're kind of in the headspace. By time blocking and batching your content, you'll be more productive because you won't have to task switch as much. Number 6, build your own cheerleading squad. In my Attract and Activate SEO membership, we have a space where we're all talking all the time about what we're working on and the things that we need help with. We have an accountability group where we can say, yes, I finished this one. Check out this blog post I just published. We have that space where we're able to have a group supporting us and knowing us that we're working towards specific goals and checking in on us if we're falling behind. By creating a cheerleading squad for ourselves, we're able to not only say, look at what I did, but we're able to have people behind us going, yeah, that was really hard for you and you did it anyway. Way to go. It's really important to have people who know how hard it is to do what we're doing, especially the things like content creation that don't always have these time-sensitive, client-driven deadlines. It can be hard to find the motivation to do it. And being surrounded by other people who are trying to achieve similar results can make a huge difference in feeling like you're part of a community that's all moving in the same direction. Number 7, track your habits. Don't worry so much about the results at this point of what your content marketing is doing. Instead, say, I actually sat down every Wednesday morning to write. I actually batched once a month. I was able to put together 4 blog posts. Whatever habit it is that you want to create, pay attention to the habit completion, not so much the results. So for my reading habit, my goal is to complete reading a certain number of books, but my habit is to read every day. When it comes to creating a habit, what most experts say is that you should just tack a new habit that you want to create onto an existing habit. So it used to be that after I put my kids to bed, I would go downstairs and turn on Netflix and get a thing of popcorn and just kind of zone out. But now, instead of that habit of putting my kids to bed immediately leading to Netflix, I switched it up. And after my kids go to bed, I walk in my bedroom, I pick up a book. If I just said, I want to read 200 books and I want to read every day, it would feel really vague to me. But instead I say, nope, after my kids go to bed, I go and I read until it's time for me to go to sleep. And that's how I've been able to read 25,000 pages in 4 months, is because I have made that habit of every single day doing the same thing and tracking and letting the Kindle app tell me that I've been doing it for 124 days straight. Number 8, don't break the streak. Jerry Seinfeld is known for a productivity hack that he used where every day he would write one joke. After he finished writing that joke, he would go to a calendar on his wall and make a big X. And he went years and years and years without breaking that streak. And some days it would just be write the X, and some days it would be writing for hours and hours and hours. But if there were days that he didn't want to start working, he would think, I just don't want to break the streak. And so for me, with my reading, I've been reading for 124 days straight. Actually longer than that, but one time I did a physical book instead of a Kindle, so I'm using the Kindle because that tracks it for me. But there are days where maybe I don't want to read. I don't have a book lined up. I could take a break, but I don't want to break my streak. It doesn't always have to be a daily streak either. I have a goal of putting out a weekly YouTube video, and there are times where I fall behind, and it would be a lot easier to just skip a week. But I know that if I skip a week, then that starts a new streak. And I feel really strongly that by the end of the year, I want to be able to say that I've released 52 YouTube videos. That's my goal for YouTube this year, is 52 videos. And if I can hit it, I will feel so accomplished. And that brings us to number 9, which is to reward yourself for achieving your goals, to celebrate the good work that you're doing, and to pick specific times during which you're going to reward yourself. So when I was talking about SMART goals earlier and having things be time sensitive, at the end of a month, at the end of a quarter, at the end of a year, whatever your time window is that you set that goal for, give yourself a reward. Find a way to celebrate all of the work that you're doing, and this is important, brag about it. I know my 73 books last year, I did a lot of humble bragging about that because I'm proud of it. It's okay to be proud of your accomplishments. It's okay to be excited about the things that you're doing in your business. And number 10, track your success. I said earlier that we want to track our habits, which are the lead goals, the things that we're actually doing that we can measure in real time. But we also want to track our lag goals, the outcomes of the habits that we have created. So by creating these weekly YouTube videos and the weekly corresponding blog posts, I'm starting to see clients. I see subscribers building up. I see more traffic to my website. There are outcomes of the habits that I've created. And 4 months into this weekly generative process, I really am starting to see some tangible, quantitative results happening in my business. Creating one YouTube video probably wouldn't have done that for me. Creating a habit of releasing new content is getting new subscribers, new clients, new students into my program. Creating a consistent marketing habit is something that we work on a lot in my Attract and Activate program. It's hugely beneficial for my students in the membership. And for this summer only, I'm going to create a special experience for people who don't want to commit to the full 6-month membership, but just want a community space in which they can create these habits and celebrate their wins. So for the summer of 2021, I'm creating SEO Summer Camp. It's going to be a 100-day virtual experience where you can meet up with other online entrepreneurs who are trying to establish this habit of creating content. Basically, you'll have your own built-in cheerleading squad by being there, and you'll have access to me to help you with turning these content marketing goals into habits and trackable results. If you're interested in hearing more about SEO Summer Camp, you can go to seosummer.camp. And if you're watching this after summer 2021, then head over to Attract and Activate and you can find out about the way that you can get supported by me with creating new content marketing goals and figuring out ways to actually achieve them and track your success from SEO in your business. If you liked this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back in the future with more videos about how to create content marketing that works for your business. See you then. Hi, my Meg is name.